welcome to the Northern Counties East League podcast. I'm Richard Watts. I'm now joined by League General Manager Matt Jones.
Hello everybody and welcome to this week's podcast. I'm going to go slightly against what I normally do this week and start down in Division 1 and right down at the bottom end. First of all, with Bridge Athletic, they must be very relieved. We mentioned them on last week's podcast. They hadn't won a league game, 9 games gone, 4 wins, 5 draws. All of a sudden, they've won 2 games in a week. Midweek, there were 4-2 winners against Nostell Miners Welfare, and they followed that up with an excellent 2-1 away win at Selby Town on Saturday. There must also be relief at Appleby Frodingham after beating Nostell 2-1 on Saturday to record their first victory since the opening day of the season. So well done to Appleby Frodingham. Unfortunately for Yorkshire Amateur, those results leave them marooned at the foot of the table. They're now 8 points from safety after a 2-1 defeat at Swallownest. And after winning their first game of the season quite convincingly, I think 3-0 at Louth, they've now lost 11 straight league games in a row. We've only got 3 points from 12 games. I was out delivering footballs on Saturday all over the place. My final drop was at Brigg, where I arrived about 2 o'clock, so I decided to stay there and watch the game against Ilkley Town. The game itself was illuminated with a fantastic overhead kick by the visitors' Dan Smith, but sadly, shortly afterwards, he suffered a serious injury. He collided with the wall behind the goal, and he was clearly in distress. Never nice to see. Having checked yesterday, we believe he's broken his fibula and he's also damaged his knee. And he was still in hospital yesterday. They were deciding whether to operate or not. So on behalf of everybody at the Northern Counties East League, we wish Dan a full and speedy recovery. Looking at the league table, we've got new leaders in the Premier Division, Albion Sports. We mentioned them last week, how they're coming up on the rails. Well, they've now gone top. They beat the previous leaders, Penistone Church, 3-0 on Friday night. The playoff positions currently occupied by Penistone Church themselves now, Galway United, Silsden and Thackley. The bottom 2 places, somewhat surprisingly, I think, Winterton Rangers, who came down to us from the Northern Premier League last year. At the moment, they're finding it quite tough. And bottom place, Goole. In Division 1, Horbury Town, 3 points clear at the top, with Wombwell Town, Durham District and Maltby Maid and Athersley Recreation in the playoff positions. It's looking like it's going to be an exciting promotion battle between the top sides in that division. Looking at the current streaks, in the Premier Division, we've mentioned Albion Sports. They've won 5 games in a row and are now 9 games without defeat, while Frickley Athletic and Gould have each lost their last 4 matches. And Frickley Athletic, that resulted in manager James Baxendale resigning after Saturday's game. In Division 1, Horbury Town remain the king of the clean sheets, with their opponents failing to score in 9 of their 14 matches so far. And that's a great record. At this level of football, clean sheets are quite a rarity. So 9 out of 14, fantastic for them. They've only conceded 7 goals in the 14 games so far. Wombwell remain the only unbeaten side across both divisions, which are now 12 games without defeat, although that record was under serious threat in midweek, as visitors Selby Town led 2-0 with 12 minutes remaining. And the game was abandoned due to a nasty injury to Wombwell player Kean Guest. And again, we wish Kean a full and speedy recovery from his injury. Wombwell, South Leeds and Maltby Main have each won their last 3 matches. We've already mentioned Yorkshire Amateurs, who've lost 11 games in a row. I'm going to mention now something I think that makes non-league very special, and it's back to Frickley Athletic. Frickley currently have a fundraiser going on to raise money for the new floodlights, and Ella, 11 years old, appears on this podcast with her brother Josh quite often. She's gone to a lot of effort over the weekend baking cakes to sell at the game, with all money going to the floodlight appeal. And Ella raised a fantastic amount of £192 on Saturday, so well done to Ella. And while we're on about Frickley, 3 other gentlemen, Chris Medwell, Michael Holmes and Alex Hewitt, are also fundraising for the floodlight appeal this Saturday. They're walking the 23 miles from Frickley to Goole before Saturday's game at the Victoria Pleasure Grounds. It's a journey of about 23 miles on foot, and they predict it'll take about 8 hours. So it's a fantastic effort, and I think it highlights what makes our non-league community so special. So good luck to those guys as well.
Welcome to Seasons Past with Libby Edwards. In this episode, I'm looking back to the 2004-2005 season. The Premier Division contained the 17 teams from the previous season, plus promoted Long Eaton United, Shirebrook Town and Maltby Main. The league was won by Goole, who won 25 and drew 9 of their 38 games, finishing with 79 points. An 8-1 win at Maltby Main was their biggest win. Selby Town finished second. They won 23 and drew 8, finishing on 77 points. In third place were Harrogate Town, who finished on 76 points. Borough Wash Victoria finished bottom. Second bottom were Maltby Main and third bottom Armthorpe Welfare. Newcomers to Division 1 were Retford United, who joined from the Central Midlands. The league was won by Sutton Town. They finished on 71 points, with 22 wins and 5 draws. Runners-up were Garforth Town. They won 21 and drew 4, finishing on 67 points. In third place were Carlton Town, who finished on 65 points. In the 16-team First Division, South Normanton Athletic finished bottom. Biggest home win of the season was Liversedge's 7-0 win against Arnold Town. Biggest away was Gould's 8-1 win at Maltby Main. The League Cup was won by Sheffield. In the final played at Ossett Albion, they beat Harrogate Railway Athletic, 2-1. Beaten semi-finalists were Arnold Town and Hallam. The President's Cup was won by Buxton, who defeated Sutton Town on away goals after the tie finished 5-5 on aggregate. In the FA Cup, Liversedge made the fourth qualifying round. They beat Rossendale, Brandon and Prescott Cables before losing 2-0 in a replay at Colville Town. Thackley and Pickering Town made it to the fourth round of the FA Vase. Thackley beat North Shields, Prudder, Whitley Bay and Holbeach before losing to Newbury. Pickering beat Glasshow Tun, Sheffield, Dunstan Fed and Billingham before losing to Brook House.
Next up, NCEL talk. I'll hand straight over to host Aaron Walton.
Well, good evening, everybody. So we've got Si with us, we've got Bob with us, and we've got Adam with us tonight, myself, Aaron. So evening, everybody.
Good evening.
So where do we start? Well, let's look at Saturday's results to start with. Then we'll go with the Prem for a change, Bob. You've got something to say, Bob, haven't you?
I am. Are you going to go the night before, the Friday? It was a top of the table clash, wasn't it?
Well, I've got it at the top of my list, Bob. Even though I said Saturday.
I thought you were going to do Friday first, that was all. Sorry.
I've got it at the top of my list, Bob, but it was a top of the table clash, wasn't it, Bob? Between Albion and Penistone, wasn't it?
It was, yeah.
And the score was, Bob?
3-0 to Albion.
3-0 to Albion. Up to the 87th minute, I think it was only 1-0, wasn't it? And then they had 2 quick-fire goals that put a bit of a gloss on it. But I think Neil and Craig at Albion are doing what Neil and Craig do best. They produce a strong, hard-to-beat footy team. So Mr. Simpson and Mr. Ogilvie are doing a very good job at Albion, aren't they?
Yeah, definitely.
So was that the only game on Saturday, Bob? Friday, sorry.
Friday. That was the only game on Friday, yes. But I thought we'd mention it because we're getting it in the right order.
You know me, Bob, too well. I do forget them, don't I, on a Friday night? If we're not playing, I forget. So sorry about that, Albion and Penistone. You're doing really well. So Saturday then, we'll start off with, alphabetically. Barton Town beat Parkgate 4-2. I'm going to give Jordan Greaves, the Parkgate keeper, man of the match. He was superb in the first half. It could have been about 4 or 5-2 in the first half, but he just was superb. 1-1. And by the way, Ross Duggan scored a lovely goal. He had a little look up, about 30 yards out, chipped the keeper. What a great goal. 2 late goals for the Swans and a red card for Sam Eckhart at Parkgate. 1 to red for me, I'm afraid. And I got a good view. I don't think the ref's view was as good as mine because I was stood on a few cardboard boxes. So, good win for the Swans. Beverley, what a good result for them, gents. Beating Hallam 1-0. What do you think of that one then, guys?
Yeah, good result. Sorry. Go on, Adam.
Yeah, really good result. That for Beverley. They seem to be, like I say, they had a bit of a slow start, but they're picking up a bit now. And like I say, that's a good win against a good Allen team.
It is, isn't it? Yeah. I mean, I saw Beverley the week before at Winton, and they lost 1-0, and they looked out of sorts. To be fair, but to beat Hallam, that's a real good result. So they're picking up points, aren't they?
Good crowd. It was a good crowd, wasn't it?
What was the crowd, Bob? 300 and plus?
350.
350. I only wish Barton could get 350. Lincolnshire Derby. Bottisford winning Winton 1-0. I think that's gone to form, that one, didn't it, boys?
Yes, I think so, yeah.
Campion beating Handsworth 3-1. Campion are having a funny season, aren't they? They're sort of in and out, aren't they? But to beat Handsworth...
They've only played 8 games, haven't they? They were behind them.
Yeah, that's it. They generally have the good cup runs, don't they? Right, we're going to go on to... Oh, sorry, Bob. Eccleshill and Goal. Come on, Bob. Don't tell me Goal played really well the first half and then it fell to bits in the second.
No, I'm going to tell you. It was a painful, woeful watch on Saturday for Vikings fans. It really was.
Yeah.
I mean, we're 3-0 down at half-time. We conceded after 3 minutes.
Yeah.
And, well, it was just a painful watch. It really was. In fact, we went 4 down after 53 minutes, and the next 37 minutes, you wanted the referee to blow a whistle there and then, You see some matches and you think to yourself, the defence was all at sea, really, on our defence on Saturday.
Yeah.
And we did score one, but I think the referee felt sorry for us.
Yeah.
There was a soft penalty. I thought there was a soft penalty. That's football. But there was one bright spot in the afternoon. One bright spot.
The sun came out.
No. Half-time, hospitality. I said I'd mention it. I met our listener, Sally from Eccleshill.
Oh, Sally.
She listens to us every week, and she recognised my dulcet tones.
You've got a fan.
I got a fan. So I said to Sally, I would mention you tonight, Sally.
Well done, Bob. Well done for that. And the hospitality is very good at Eccleshill.
It is, yes. It is, yeah.
It's very good. So that was that. We'll skate over that one then, Bob.
Yeah, thank you.
I know the feeling. Frickley, was it Frickley 2, Golka 4? And we'll come on to it a bit later. We saw that James Baxdale and his backroom staff departed in the week, didn't they?
They did.
So we know where they've gone to one of Adam's teams. So Pickering got a tidy victory over the high flying Denny boys of Thackley, didn't they? 1-0. So that was a good win for Pickering. And Rosso, Adam, having a good win down at Oxford Street, 2-0 against Tadcaster.
Very good win, that. Like I say, Tadcaster are either really on it or seem to, they're either winning or losing. Cliche, but it's a good win, that. And like I say, this it was announced earlier in the week as well. We've got Greg Young, he's been given the role full time at Rosso as well. So he's had a pretty good spell, to be fair. They've looked, I've not been down as much as I want to, but from what I've seen and heard, they've been doing pretty well. So it's going along steadily, I'd say, for Rosso at the minute.
Do you think that's a good? Do you think that's a good addition, having Greg as manager?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, when he were captain last season, and he made the difference on the pitch. Like I say, his legs had gone a bit more than he had previous years, but just his leadership, him like telling all the other players like positionally like where to go and stuff like that. And you can kind of tell he's got he's a true leader. I think he's a PE teacher as well, so he knows he's got experience with like coaching people and stuff like that. So I'm happy with it myself.
They won't be caning anybody then if they do it wrong or let a goal in, will they?
Won't mess with him, but
no, I wouldn't. Hello, sir. That'll be it. So Silsden beat Knaresborough in a tight game 3-2. Cale Price sinking Knaresborough's hearts with an 89th minute winner Knaresborough, they're struggling, aren't they?
They must have thought they'd got something out of that one at least, though. To have gone 2-1 up with 10 minutes to go, you think you at least got a point, if not all three.
Definitely.
So yeah, that must have gutted them.
I think it did, but I think Knaresborough will turn it round. Definitely. Let's go.
Souls are doing well, though, aren't they?
They are doing well. Yes, Adam.
They look like they kind of picked up a bit of form not long ago, but then, like I say, it seems to have just stalled a bit.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes you don't know what sort of team they've got out, do you, or who's injured or who's available, that type of thing. We're going to Division 1 then. Could it be the performance of the week? Sorry, Appleby Frodingham winning 2-1 at home to Nostell. That must be the first win since the beginning of the season. Am I correct, Bob? You're usually the statistician.
Yes, I think you're right. Yes, I think that was just their second win of the season.
Yeah. So that was really good for well done, Appleby Frodingham. Armthorpe were beaten by a strong second half from Maltby 4-1. Have you seen Armthorpe much this season, Adam?
No, I watched them in pre-season. We had Rozzo in pre-season, and I thought they looked all right. To be fair, I'll see where they are in table. They're
mid-table, aren't they?
Down in 17th. Yeah, I thought. Yeah, it's going to be interesting now. Now I know we'll talk about it later, but now
now they've got the new manager in place.
He must not be named as coming. So yeah.
No, that'll be good, won't it? So Athersley bounced back 4-2 at home to Louth Town. So Athersley are having a really good season. Brigg lost 2-0 to Ilkley Town. Ilkley looked like one of the surprise packages of the new boys. They look like they're doing really well. And it was a superb bicycle kick from Dan Smith, wasn't it? Did you see the highlights? It was a lovely overhead kick.
I've seen that. Yes, it was, wasn't it?
Yeah. And unfortunately, Dan went off with a real nasty injury, didn't he? So we all wish wish Dan a speedy recovery, Dan. Hopefully, you get back playing soon. So that was Ilkley Town. Clubthorne 0, Horbury 0. So a good point for Clubthorne there. Durnan District 1, Harrogate Railway 1. Dronfield 2.
Harrogate, that.
It was, yeah. Dronfield 2, Glassy 2, Glasshoughton 2. So it's all draws, isn't it? Selby lost to Wasborough 2-1, so Wasborough are picking up a bit. That's 2 on the bounce for the Briggers. Shelley lost 4-0 to the unbeaten Wilmwell Town. South Leeds and Wakefield side. Over to you. Oh dear.
That's my noise. That's the noise of my match report.
Dear.
It was a poor performance by us on the day. Credit to South Leeds. I'm not taking anything away from them sort of getting the win, but it's probably one of our worst games in terms of the energy and intensity and just the way that we can play. It was very flat. And as you'll probably have seen as well, our manager resigned after the game, and now we are recruiting a replacement.
Oh. Could you see that coming, him resigning, or was it a bit of a out of the blue?
I'd probably say a bit of both. Maybe not so soon. I could have seen it. I think all of us wanted him to turn it around. Junior is probably the nicest guy I've come across, not just in football, but in life. Really nice guy, so down to earth. Always had time for fans and everything else. And you just really wanted him to have the success that he kind of deserved, but it just wasn't working. So I think now we need some fresh ideas and maybe a different way of doing things, but we'll see. I think I always think a lot of people that come to watch us play, like Adam's been to see us before, and a couple of other people have had on the channel. We try and play sometimes too much good football. So I'm hoping we probably try and mix that up a little bit more now, but we'll see.
I'd agree with that.
See who we get in place first.
Yeah, you agree with that, Adam? Do you?
From what I saw, yeah.
Play too much football. Try and play it out from the back instead of giving it a good oof.
Sometimes, yeah. I don't know. I get where they're coming from, because with us trying to grow a football club in this area with it being a big city and stuff. They want to have it entertaining football, so it's going to try and get more fans down. So they don't want to do kind of Route 1 football. But it's trying to find that balance because you also need to have the success as well.
You do.
Because you've still got to put the points on the table. So, hey, we'll see. But, maybe it's a fresh start with a fresh way of doing it, maybe.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Well, we'll see. Anyway, let's go on to other games. Shelley lost 4-0 to the unbeaten. Oh, I said that already. Where am I? They've maybe got 6 points there. Yes, Walton beat Yorkshire Amateurs 2-1. The Amateurs beaten late on by the wonderfully named James, by the way. What a great name that is.
Ex-Rosso.
Is he ex-Rosso?
Yeah.
Oh,
there's got to be a Red Hot Chili Peppers joke in there somewhere if he's called by the way, but never mind.
I don't know. So we'll get on to midweek because there was an absolute plethora, as they would say, of midweek games, wasn't there? Tuesday saw 2 games in the Premiership. Golka go to the top of the league, don't they? They beat Taddy 2-1. So Taddy having a bit of a time of it at the moment, aren't they? They can't seem to get a win. And then we'll go on to Bob. It's your second performance of the night, sir. Gould 2, Pickering Town 2.
Yeah,
Over to you.
Yeah, where I was downbeat on Saturday, I was upbeat on Tuesday because, Pickering, 8th to 19 league, on a good run, and to get a 2-2 draw, what was like chalk and cheese. We played a lot better on. Well, we couldn't do much worse really, after Saturday, but we played a lot better. The intensity there was, the concentration was there, the effort was there, and Pickering went one up. We equalised through Curtis Davis. 1-1 then they got a second, so it was 2-1 at half time to them. And then it was pretty good half for both teams, but then we grabbed an equaliser in the 86th minute.
Yeah.
New signing James Subinite, young lad, 18. He grabbed the goal for us, 2-2. We could have won it towards the end. So over and all, after because the last point we picked up was at Barton. So we're pleased.
We know it was, yeah.
So we're pleased to pick up a point,
Well,
and hopefully we go on to bigger and better things going forward,
Yeah, I think you will. I've got it down, Bob, and I just sort of told you before, I had you down to win that one. So I've got the faith. So
good man.
Yeah, thank you. Division 1 on that night. Harrogate 4, Dronfield 3. That looked a good game. Horbury 2, Denham District 1. Ilkley still on it, 3-1 against Club Thorn. Another Lincolnshire derby, Louth 1, Brigg 6. Well done, Brigg. Selby 3, Appleby Frodingham 2. So Appleby Frodingham keeping up the decent form. They're not getting thumped, so they only lost 3-2. Si, over to you for your second performance of the night. Wakefield 6, Swallow 2.
Happier with that one, a bit like Bob's really, but it was more intense, more communication, better football. Yeah, it put a bit of a smile back on the fans' faces at the game. And a much better game for us. Looking at it going into it, Swallownest obviously quite near us in the table and they've had a good start to the season, but I think as the games have gone on recently, they've kind of dropped off a bit from the form they had early on.
Yeah.
Whereas teams like Athersley, obviously, they've kicked on and they're still up there. Swallownest are starting to drop back a bit now, I think.
Yeah. So good win for Wakefield. So
Slater Barnes back from Golka as well, scoring on his return.
I was just going to say, I think you've got him on a bit of elastic, haven't you? Golka, Wakefield.
Yeah, exactly.
He just loves coming to your club.
16 goals in 19 games for us now, though, overall. So that's a pretty good record, is that? To say he's a wide player, he's not a striker.
Yeah, no, he's a good player. I do like watching him play. So, Wombwell lose their unbeaten record.
Big win,
South
that, innit?
Leeds at home, 3-1. Well done, South Leeds.
So that was South Leeds.
Yeah, so that was the only remaining club that was unbeaten was Wombwell, wasn't it? And now everybody's been beaten. So they've done well to keep the record going for so long. And it's a big congratulations to South Leeds. Well done. So 3-1. And Yorkshire Amateurs get a point against Glasshoughton. So well done to Yorkshire Amateurs.
I was meant to be at that one, but like I said, I had a bit of car trouble this week. So we're hoping to bring you some updates from that, but like I said, unfortunately, I couldn't make it.
No.
But yeah, so I meant to be at that one and Penistone versus Hallam as well, which sure want to in a second.
We will,
so like I hope to bring you some updates from them, but not.
I think we might. I think we need to club together and buy a new car.
I think so as well.
It's all the mileage you do going to all the grounds, mate. That's what it is.
Yeah. I think they should give him NCEL should give him a car or something. but don't give him ideas. We'll be getting up there. So Wednesday, so a few games. Handsworth 2, Barton Town 2. So Barton Town were 2-0 down, and they came back into it in a real good second half performance. I wasn't there, unfortunately. I was at work, but 2-2. So well done, Barton. A good performance. And apparently they had plenty of chances in the second half to win it. So, but I'll always go to Handsworth, and I'm happy with the points. Penistone, they're struggling, aren't they? I don't know how many they've lost now in a row, but they've lost a few in a row. They come out to a 2-3 loss to Hallam. So Hallam again. Hallam are a little bit up and down, aren't they? As well, that nobody seems to have. I don't know if you agree with me, guys. That form that they're winning each week.
No, that's true.
Everybody's taking points off everybody, aren't they?
They've lost the last 4 of Penistone.
Yeah, and I think...
But they've also lost 2 before that as well. So, yeah they've lost 6 out of the last 7.
Yeah, so, and I think it's going to be a pretty good fight in the Prem with teams like, not having that sort of form that week in, week out they're winning. There's no Emleys this year, is there? That type of thing at the moment. You never know, somebody might go on a big run. Div 1, there was only one game because Maltby's Muglet Lane was waterlogged against Athersley. That would have been a good game, that, actually. Would you call that? No, I wouldn't call that a local derby, would you?
Both South Yorkshire, so...
Yeah.
Kind of other side. So.
They wouldn't have far to travel, would they, Athersley? So they'll be back home at 11 o'clock, so that's not so bad. Wasborough continue the good form. Was it 5-3 against Shelley, Bob?
It was 5-3. That's what I've got written down. So, yeah.
Oh, so that was a good one. So Wasborough... Yes, plenty of goals. So the Briggers are turning the corner. Well done to Wasborough. So what we want to go on to, Adam intimated this earlier on, there's the management merry-go-round, haven't we? So as we're chatting about Rossington appoint Greg Young as the manager, Wakey and Frickley lose their managers, and has James Baxendale returned to Armthorpe? Has it been signed, sealed and delivered, Adam?
It has. I think it were last night, I believe. It got made official.
Yeah. So he's gone from Frickley to back to Armthorpe. I think he was at Armthorpe before, wasn't he?
He left Frickley in the summer and he's gone back now. And
he's taking his backroom staff with him. Matt Flanagan and Andy Steptoe. He's taking them 2 guys with him. So maybe Armthorpe are going to climb up the league back with him. And Wakey, I don't think there's anybody in the frame yet. Is the side they're just looking around at the moment for a new manager?
Yeah, I don't know what the situation. I don't know the inside gossip on that one. Unfortunately, I know they were trying to get some interviews, I think, this week, and do some recruiting. Yeah. I'd like to hope that. I mean, it's Thursday night tonight. It's like our training night, so I'd hope that we maybe got someone doing the training and would be ready to go Saturday. I don't know though, so it might still be caretaker manager until next week. But moving forward from that, we've got Yorkshire Amateur this week, but it's the FA Vars next week, and I'd like to have a little game before that, before we get a big FA Vars tie.
Who have you got in the FA Vars? Do you know yet?
North Shields.
Oh, of course you have. North Shields. That's got to be Wakefield's biggest game, I think. Don't you think, in the history? Possibly.
I think it will. Yeah, because they're a couple of divisions up, aren't they? I think they're in the. I can't remember if they're at step 5 or step 4. Are they step 5 now? I think actually. So
step 5. The word step 4 for a bit, but we got promoted because of the ground.
Yeah. So we've played some step 4 teams before. So but not in the Vars, obviously. So yeah, that's obviously a big thing. But yeah, sorry
Yeah.
to go back to the manager thing. Yeah, I don't know at this stage.
I think they'll want somebody in. It's a funny one. You don't want to rush it, but you don't want to be messing about either.
No, especially where we are at the moment. We need to get points on the board. So
yeah.
Sooner the better.
So sooner the better. All the best to all the teams that have looking for managers. Hopefully they get them, and we'll go on to we're going to do we'll look at the tables, and then we'll go to our performance of the week, and then a ground focus. So let's have a look at the tables then. We'll go to the Division 1 first, Si. So Horbury still at the top. I'm going to pat you on the back because you did pick Horbury at the beginning of the season. So it's looking good, isn't it? Horbury played 15, 38 points. So that's good. Wombwell doing really well. I know they lost, but 13 games, 32 points. So 2 games in hand. And they've got 3 games in hand over Dernan District, who are on the same points. Maltby Main doing a good job, 13 games, 29 points. The newcomers, Ilkley, 14 games and 28 points. And I'm so pleased to see Athersley still up there, 14 games, 28 points. Well done. At the bottom, we've got Yorkshire Amateurs at the bottom, 13 games and 4 points. They're struggling a bit, aren't they? So Appleby Frodingham, 15 games and 7 points. Again, they're struggling, but they're closing the scores down and they did win. So that's pretty good. And Nostell, after a decent start, are struggling a bit, 14 games and 11 points. So it's what do you reckon, Si, at the top then?
The question mark is probably whether Athersley can keep up the pace, but they certainly have done so far. I think they've surprised all of us. I think all the teams that's in that top 5 are going to be pushing for that playoff position. I don't think there's anyone there that you could say is above their station. And then there's teams still below that you'd expect to probably even try and close in on that. Ourselves and Brig. A lot of us said Brig before the season started. They're in 8th. They get some consistency and they could be up there. But I think it's still Horbury and Wombwell are the teams that you're looking at this stage.
Definitely. If we go on to the Prem, top is Golka, 12 games, 27 points. Albion, 13 games, 25 points. So Golka are looking good. Penistone, although they've lost a few, 15 games, 25 points. Thackley, 12 and 24. And the 2 Sheffield clubs, Hallam, 13 games, 21 points. And Handsworth, 13 games and 20 points. At the bottom, we won't mention who's at the bottom. So we'll go to second from bottom. Winchton Rangers.
Cool.
I saw them a couple of weeks ago and they looked all right. But they're tightening up a bit. They've had a few signings. They've got Reece Moody from Barton who can score, and they've got a really good prospect in a lad called Matty Clayton, midfielder, and he can play at the back. He's a young prospect. He won't get in any games for Barton, but he really will be a good asset to Winton. So look out for Matty Clayton, a good player. Rated quite highly with the Barton fans, I must admit. And then we've got Daresborough, third from bottom. That's a surprise to me, guys. I don't know about you.
Yeah, it was still a long way to go in the season.
Yeah, there's a long way to go, isn't there? What do you reckon, Adam?
Yeah, I thought there'd be more at the other end of the table, to be fair, than down near the bottom. But like you say, long way to go. Still a long season. So
oh God, yeah. There's a few teams that could string a good run together. Right, so I'm going to go on to ground focus now. Bob, you were at Eccles Hill, wasn't you?
Yes, I was.
Right, so we're going to get a lowdown of I think is it the Mitten Group Stadium or Servo Stadium? I think Servo Stadium.
Yeah, something like that.
At Rose at Eccles Hill. Let's have a lowdown of Eccles Hill's ground then, Bob.
Yeah, well, the first thing is when you walk into the Eccles Hill ground is the pitch. It looked really good. I think it was maybe being cut one day before, 2 days before. It looked a really good surface, And I like that big stand there. It's an old-fashioned stand, isn't it, at Eccles Hill?
Yeah.
The main stand there, proper footballing stand that, and it's a nice setup there. I mean the the clubhouse, you have to go outside for it, don't you?
You certainly do.
But a nice clubhouse as well. Our half-time hospitality was good, and the food beforehand, that was nice. But they got a wagon there. It was a good setup. It was a good day, except for the result.
Yes, yeah. It was. They dug that out the side of I think it's either a quarry. I think.
Yeah. What was interesting, I was talking to the groundsman because after the game, there was two of them. They were forking the pitch, and they own their own ground, as I could say, because I was asking the chap. They own their own ground, but the council cut the grass for them. Presumably they pay them, but so they cut the grass for them. So that's good, really.
Oh, that's nice. That's nice.
Yeah.
So nice ground overall at Eccleshill.
Yeah.
I must admit, I like to go to Eccleshill. It's a proper football ground. Like I say, there's got that big stand on down one side.
It's just finding it. Watch my mate Dan was driving, but it's you've got it's sort of north of Bradford, isn't it? So
it is, yeah. You got to know where you're going. It's taken me many journeys to get there and get it right.
I wonder sometimes if players can find it.
Yeah. Probably the goal players didn't find it. They maybe didn't turn up, Bob.
Oh, wasn't no.
So anyway, by the way,
right.
Yeah. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to our performance of the week. So Adam, have you picked a performance of the week out for us?
I have. I've gone for Worsborough this week in terms of team of the week kind of. They had a good result on the Saturday. I'll just go back to Saturday's
Selby.
Selby, that's it, yep. A very good win against Selby, and then really good 5-3 win against I think it was Shelley. In midweek. They've been struggling. They've been like I said, been at bottom 3 for pretty much all season, and they've kind of looked like they could get a few results together at times, but just been a bit unlucky, a bit inconsistent, and like I said, put a couple of good wins together and climbed out the bottom 3 for the first time.
Well done. Yeah, that's good. Well done, Worsborough. Si, who's your performance of the week then? Team of the week?
I'm going Golker on this one. Again, 2 wins, gone top of the table, and little stacks. I love stats. The only team in the Premier Division with 100% home record at the moment.
Wow. 100%.
6 wins from 6 at home, and I make your home a fortress, and you can pick up the rest on the road. So I think that's what's got them to the top of the table.
Definitely, yeah. I've been there this season, and they beat us 2-1. So yeah, nice ground as well. Bob, your team of the week. Well, you can't have your own team as well.
No, just before that, I wish Science had said that because we're going to Golcar next Saturday.
Hey, you could be the ones to upset that form guide. Stranger things have happened, haven't they?
Yes, certainly is. It'll be the Bob show if the Bob and Gould show if they win.
Definitely. Well, my team of the week is South Leeds. I mean, they beat Woolwell away on the other night, didn't they? So that was Woolwell's first defeat. And sorry, Si, but they beat Wakefield on the Saturday as well. So that's 2 good wins. But the Woolwell one stands out to me. That's to inflict their first defeat. So I'd go for South Leeds this week.
So you've gone to South Leeds, right? Well, I'm going to stay local. I'm going to go for a club in Scunthorpe. I'm going to go for Appleby Frodingham, getting the 2nd win. So well done, Apfrod. They couldn't make it 2 out of 2, but they won on Saturday, didn't they? They beat who did they beat on? Was it Saturday? I can't remember. But they did beat. Who was it?
I think it was Nostell.
It was Nostell. Yeah, it was Nostell. Yeah. You'd thought I'd not wrote any notes and prepared anything, but it's at the top. I can't read. I cannot read my own writing. That's the trouble, dear me. So that's mine. Appleby Frodingham winning 2-1. I know they're finding a little bit of a struggle in the league at the moment, but as I say, they won on Saturday. They only just lost in midweek, didn't they? 3-2 to Selby, which is no mean feat to get a couple of goals at Selby. So Appleby Frodingham is my team of the week. So I think apart from Si, we've all gone for Div 1 teams, haven't we? So, well, that's good. So, quickly have a look at Saturday's games. Any good games to look at, Bob? Have you picked any good games out?
I'm just going to tell you something, an interesting note. We're playing Frickley at home, but there's three Frickley supporters. They're walking from their ground to the Victoria Cricket Grounds, 27 miles on the day. Probably taking about 8 hours. For they're trying to raise money for new floodlights. So that's a good thing. 27 miles, and hoping to do it in 8 hours. So I hope they get there in time for the kickoff. But
well, if not,
it's a good feat, is that to do that? That's a really good thing to do for the club, you know.
It is. Well done to the Frickley supporters. Yeah, well done. So that's that one. Have you got any sigh that you can pick out?
Just while we're on the subject of fundraising as well, for any Yorkshire amateur people listening to this as well, if they want to contribute for our match on Saturday, we've got like a bring a tin food bank going on. So anyone's got anything in their pantry they want to bring along to that, greatly appreciated. Looking across the division, I think there's two ties that stand out for me: Brigg versus Maltby, and Durnan District versus Ilkley. They're both sort of two top of the table playoff type matches, so they're going to be quite tight.
They'll be tasty, won't they? Adam, have you picked any out?
For me, Gorka versus Silsden. That's a good game.
Oh yeah,
yeah, tasty that one. Yeah, very good. There's a few clubs missing, isn't there, because they've got county cup games, which I always find a bit odd. But I know Barton have got to go all the way to Harrowby. Does anybody know where Harrowby is?
I don't.
No.
I bet Adam does.
Is it Grantham?
Oh, Adam, top of the class, sir. Yes, it is Grantham. Yeah, well done. It's a journey and a half. Unfortunately, I'm at work, so I won't be going. So, but good luck to the Swans all the way down there. I'd like to have gone because it's a ground I've not been to. So, but there's a few cup games. Any midweek games? Yes, Bob.
Winterton's, they've got a trek. They've got to go to Boston Town.
They have, yes, yeah. I'm sure they've played Boston before in the Links Cup as well. I'm sure I saw them a couple of seasons ago. The Boston Town played at Winterton. Barton's played them as well. I think it ended in penalties. So I just wonder why they have County Cup games on a Saturday.
Yeah, it's a strange one, that, to me.
Maybe they're travelling, I don't know, because I know it's a fair way for, obviously, Barton and Winterton to go, but yeah, any midweek games just before we clear off? Any midweek games?
Look, I've spotted the Bradford derby, Campion versus Eccleshill in the Prem on Tuesday.
Yeah. Oh, Tuesday. That'll be a good one.
Interesting one as well. I think Appleby Frodingham versus Shelley. That's good chance for Appleby to get a win there, I think.
Oh yes, yeah, definitely. Is that a Tuesday night game, Adam?
Yes, it is.
Oh, if I might have to pop along to that one and go watch that. That's at Scunthorpe, so I might have to pop along and have a watch and see what Appleby Frodingham are like. Maybe, I don't know.
And Wednesday night, Barton are going to Penistone, so see if you can keep their losing streak going.
Yeah. I don't know. I think I'm at work again, which is it's awful. I'm missing too many games, but it's a good trek to Penistone again, isn't it? It's not a.
That's it for this edition. If you've got any news for the podcast or you'd like to appear on the podcast, please email ncelpodcast@gmail.com. Thanks for listening.